It's that time again, mid-year freakout tag. So hi guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. My name's Heather Salter-Purvis. I'm a queer fantasy author, but being an author also means I'm a reader. And every year I like to actually take part in the mid-year freakout tag. Grab yourself a beverage and let's chat books. First of all, I am doing really well in my number of books I want to read this year's. Currently ahead in my book challenge. I think I'm like 15 books ahead, but that's because of the amazing readathon I took part in last month in June, hosted by Four Paws in a Book. Amazing. Will be doing it again next year. But I also do set myself a page consumed goal, and I'm not there yet. I'm slightly behind. I did claw some pages back last month, so I'm sitting about 750 pages behind where I want to be. Every year I try and challenge myself to 24,000 pages a year, so I can nicely break down into 2,000 a month. Haven't got there. We'll work on it. Either reading more short books or just picking up less books but making them like the big hefty books. Haven't decided yet. Let me know what you would do. But moving on to the actual freak out questions, I have also dabbled in a few that I've seen that I've really thought were interesting. So the first one is the best book you've read this year, and I actually have to say it's a short story by Alix E. Harrow called The Seven Deaths of the Saint. The way she makes you feel for characters and the world building and tension she's managed to do in a heating timeline, amazing. Really loved it. Probably the best thing I've read by Alix E. Harrow. I have only done her Fractured Fables series so far, but I'm enjoying that immensely. The next book I have is the best sequel I've read this year. Oh, let me pull up my Strograph. I mean, I did do Mislaid in Parts Half Known by Shauna Maguire. It is the 9th book in the Wayward Children series, but that series always hits, so I think that's a bit of a cop-out sometimes. I don't know if I've read many sequels. Let's go with that. Recent releases you want to read soon. Recent releases. From the Moon Hatched, I just picked it up, entered my library very recently. Fate Inked in Blood, I want to read soon. Those ones. Let's go with that. The most anticipated read for the second half of the year is Queen's Thief by Madeline Tewan, which is the conclusion to her Assassin's Thief series, coming out in October through New Dawn Publishing here in Western Australia. Really looking forward to knowing how that story ends. Biggest surprise so far? Would have to say a book I'm currently reading because I'm actually enjoying it a lot more. Which is A Soul to Keep by Opal Renee. Also getting more into, but I also don't go in expecting to not like books. Biggest disappointment would be, and I'm going to get hate for this, Invocations by Crystal Sutherland. It's a good book, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the book, but I loved House of Hollow. So I was just hoping this would take me into the spooky, ooky, chills, gothic-y stuff. And it might have been when I was reading it. It just didn't hit the same way. Didn't enjoy it as much. Bummer. But I will give her another try. If you do recommend another Crystal Sutherland, let me know down in the comments. Favourite new author? Katie Roberts, actually. I have read, new to me this year that I've not read before, would be Katie Roberts, because I've done a full-length novel with her and a novella, or short story. I don't know what you'd classify a 81 page book, Stoneheart. So it's Calypso and Medusa's love story in the Dark Olympus series, because I don't think I could rate S.T. Gibson yet. I've only read one book by them, and that was An Education in Malice, which was really good. Newest fictional crush? I don't actually have one yet. Like, I enjoyed People, I liked People, but nothing that I sort of swooned for. But that might also just be because I'm aging out of the system of crushes. Newest favourite character? Ooh, I don't know. I've enjoyed characters I've read this year, but I don't know if I would say I have a favourite. So no, not doing very well with that one. Book that made you cry? Page Boy. Actually, no. Emotional was Page Boy by Elliot Page, which is the memoir. I did manage to get the audio. I always like using audio for non-fiction, especially if it's a memoir or an autobiography, just to get the author's intention behind it. And that was intense. Book that made me happy. I had a lot of nostalgia when I read it, which was The Magician's Nephew it's book 1 in the Chronicles of Narnia, C.S. Lewis, and volume 2 of Lore Olympus. All the feels. Nice, cozy. Beautiful book you've bought or received this year has to be Hellesene Rising by C.E. Davey. It's the special edition from the Bookish and Spice subscription box. Or Bookish and Spice's edition of Blood and Steel by Helen Sheeran. I think I will pick this one mainly because I've also read it, so it just hits different. And it's also just got some really nice chapter headers. And it's got some beautiful end paper art. Oh, favourite graphic or manga? Oh, that's not really fair because I've already said that one. This is an intimidating book that you've been avoiding. Crimson City, book 3, Chonka. J. Kristoff, Empire of the Damned, Chunky. Books do I need to read for the end of the year? My 10 books to read for in 2024. I think I've read 2. So I really need to get a wriggle on with this. I will link that video up here if you would like to know what's actually on this list. So that is my mid-year Freakout tag. Let me know what your favourite book of the year is and what's the book you're anticipating for the second half of the year. But without further ado, let's use our voices to promote positive change in the world. Thank you and bye-bye for now.